Hey, family. Good night. Good night, y'all. Good night. Hey, I see Miss Leandra was first in the house tonight. How are you, my love? Guys, can you let me know if you could hear me properly? I'm trying something different with my earpods, my headphones. Good night, guys. Good night. Okay. Hey, family. That sound painful. Oh, you guys are talking amongst yourself. I'm trying to see about these headphones. Okay. Hey, Connie Barnes. I see Chele. Chele is in the house. I'm trying to figure something out here, guys. But let me know if you could hear me good. Miss Carol is in the house tonight. Can I just get a thumbs up, guys, if you could hear me good, please? Thank you much. Thank you. Thank you much. Thank you. How are you, Chelly? How you feeling though? How are you? How are you feeling, Chelly? How's it going? And I see Miss Connie Barnes is in the house. Good night, Connie Barnes. Good night. Good night. Miss Leandra is here. Good night, Chile, Carol. Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you guys so much. And I know we have people in the audience that are not coming up front to talk, and that's okay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Mags, thank you so much, Mags, for joining. Good night. Good night, Mags. How are you? How are you guys doing tonight? Yes, Mags. How are you? Sometimes I wish if I could like we could really be like in a live chat. And I know that's what Chelly put up there, the clubhouse, because clubhouse, you get to talk and you don't really have to turn on your camera. But we're doing something different here. But it's still fun, interactive, and we get to engage. Tonight, guys, we are doing something different. I even forgot to take my hair out and be ready. Have my hair all pulled back ready for makeup, right? So we're doing something different tonight. I have a young lady, she's on Instagram, and I'm not sure if you guys got a chance to see in the community tab section where thanks, Leandra. Yeah, I had to get the dolled up Nessa version going on. I had it pulled back because when I'm getting my makeup done, I have to pull it back, get the hair back, but gotta jazz it up, bring it front a little bit, a little attitude. Listen, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. The young lady that's here with me tonight, our special guest tonight, she is on Instagram and her name is Good for the Culture. A part of what she does is she interviewed different people who is doing things that are pretty much good for the culture, and she wanted to take the opportunity to ask me some questions, and this would also be an opportunity for you guys as well too to ask me questions, any questions. How did I survive stuff? How did I get out of it? What did I do? Why did I decided to become a coach? Why am I even out here sharing? Oh, thank you, Carol. Or even why am I out here sharing stuff? Like, it's a great opportunity for us to talk a little bit more, but this time I'm the one who's being interviewed. So I'm definitely ready. You guys could type questions in the comment section as well, and also kind of see some of the questions that she has to share with us. I'm just waiting for her to come back in the room so I could bring her on, because it wouldn't make sense for us to just keep going and going, right? Guys, as you come in, I know we get excited in the conversation, but do not forget to go ahead and hit the like button. So when you get a chance, please go ahead and hit the like button. Listen, Queendra, okay? Queendra, not Leandra, Queendra, okay? Queendra. I so appreciate you 1,000. The family is in here. I really appreciate you guys so much. I need to see if she's ready to come in. I know she has some camera stuff going on, but it's really exciting though, especially I was talking with another young lady because we have something scheduled for next week. What I'm going to do next week is that we're going to have a panel discussion. So it's going to be maybe about 5 or 6 ladies. It might be about 5 ladies. And if I get a guy to come on too, a gentleman as well too, absolutely, I'll have a man come on as well, and we'll get them to come on so they could share information, and they could all talk about how did they get out of this, what happened, and share a lot of information to us, and we could ask them questions. So I think it would be real fun and interesting to have a panel with multiple different people, so we could go into more details and ask questions and get to know different perspective on things, and to see what are some of the challenges that all of us face, or what were some of the similarities that we all experience. How about you guys in the chat now? Like, what are some of the things that you guys face that you never dreamed of experiencing? Like, what was one of the most thing that you never thought about experiencing, but you did experience it? Yeah, it will be fun when they come on. It'll be I'm sure they'll be excited. They are excited actually. I have the flyer. I'm just gonna make a few more changes to it, and then we start promoting it out as soon as possible and get the information out to you guys as soon as possible. Let me see. Let's see. Ooh, oh, I think she's ready to come on. Okay. All right. So I think we're about to start going live, guys. Let me see. Y'all know I'm not the best at this stuff, okay? Hold on 1 second. Let me see. How do I go on to, yes, Instagram? And then, because we're also streaming it live on Instagram. So it's going to be here, right here on YouTube and on Instagram as well, too. Let me go back in. Can you send me back that link? Hey, Miss P. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for coming in. Hey, Miss P. Hey, go ahead and speak. Let me see if I can hear you inside my headphones, please.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you on the computer.
Right, but we got to
Ooh.
check for IG. I'm gonna send you the request right now.
Go ahead and send it. Let me try to get it to, but I'm trying to figure out this thing here with the headset. I guess it's supposed to pop up on my phone.
Yeah, just give me a second.
You can hear both. Thanks, Shelly,
We
for
don't
that
know
check.
yet.
Huh?
I don't know yet because I don't have you on my computer yet. So just give me a second. Let me
Okay.
see.
All right.
I
So
mean,
you do that. Let me. Okay. Okay.
um,
The other day when you sent it, it popped up on my screen and I just clicked on it. So when you're ready, try it again. And
okay,
I'm going to
I'm
try
sending
this
you
with
a
my.
request right
Go
now.
ahead.
Heal. Okay.
No. Good. Let me
Okay.
see.
Let me know if you got it.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Waiting for the guests to join. Did you get the link?
Okay. I just saw it. Yeah. Okay. I think, did I accept it? Okay. Got it.
Okay.
All right.
I
Good.
can hear you.
Not bad, right? Is that a good
Yep.
angle? That's good.
Wait, let
Okay.
me. This. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You can see me on
You
YouTube,
can see
right?
me on YouTube, right? Yes, we can hear you on YouTube just fine.
Okay. Awesome. So, Nessa, thank you. All right.
Great.
I do hear that feedback.
That's what I want to do. Hold on. So I'm gonna just do it here then. Hold on. One quick second. It's best if I connect with my phone. I just need one of them to be connected to the AirPod and then we'll be fine. That's all.
Okay. Because I can hear you in my headphones.
You and my headphones.
But,
Yeah.
well, yeah, just.
Well, yeah, just
All right,
yes.
everybody.
Can't have that. Guys, I know y'all understand technical difficulties, so one quick second. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Hey, Sexy Slim the Goddess. Yeah. And so I said, with this thing here, Okay. Trying to get my AirPods connected. Okay. Because I thought it was better when my computer had it connected, but for some reason, it's not connecting to my computer.
So, do you want to just
So
do
do you
it
want to just do it
on YouTube today, and then we
YouTube
can
today, and then
reschedule so
we
I
can
can do it on
reschedule
IG, just so that your
just so
followers
that
are
you're
engaged, mine aren't.
1 second. If you want, we could do that. I just know it would take like a quick sec. I'm just not this all savvy here.
Neither am I, girl. I'm not
My
mad at you.
girl,
Trust me,
no
I
matter
get it.
what. All right, so tell you what, if you want, we could do it on this one at a later time, or if you want to just wait and we could go right back on there.
Yeah, we could do it.
We
Let's
could
do
do
it
it.
on
Let's do it
here because I
on.
know you have
Okay,
like
so
a
let's
about.
start on here, and let me just get this going, and then we could just hop right back on. All right?
But wait, now I can hear you on IG and you're moving and everything.
Yeah, I know, but it's gonna be echoing between the two. Let me check with the
I don't
guys.
hear the
Yeah,
echo.
it's echoing inside here. Yeah, it's
Okay.
gonna echo. It's gonna echo. Let me just cut off this one and start right back over. Yeah. Let me just start right back over. We could start talking here. You could start asking me questions and stuff. Take your time. Oh, thank you so much, my love. We we tested out the other day and it worked just fine. But for some reason I think this you know what? TT, Tiana, TT, my daughter had suggested that I should use her headphones. I think I'm just gonna do just that. I think mine is too savvy. Let me just grab her headphones really quickly. 1 second, y'all.
Okay.
TT, Tiana. Sorry, y'all. Listen, let's just hop right into it. Okay, let's just hop right into it. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Start your
Okay.
stuff. Ask away. I'm all here.
All
I'm
right. Let
all
me
here.
just.
I know this should be working better because this is just my regular setup. This is just regular stuff here right now. Um,
Okay. Hold on. Story. Let me just let
Sorry, let me
people
just let
know.
people
But
know.
we're not going to do it today,
We're not
right?
gonna do it today, right? No, that's what I'm telling you. If you could start asking questions here, even just to, get started. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get back on my Bluetooth on my phone here. So if you just give me a quick second, let me just try to reconnect back my AirPods.
Um,
Guys, thank you so much, my love. The setup looks great. Thank you, Queen. And thank you guys so much for your patience. I know you guys, I love you guys so much. I love you guys so, so much. And I thank y'all for understanding and being patient with your girl. Thank you.
All right,
Of
yeah,
all
let's
time,
just.
well, we're ready to go and to get this show on the road and to ask all these questions. Now these technology want to act up, right? They can't win though. We're gonna talk our piece. We're gonna get our piece out there because that's what we do, okay? They can't stop us.
You can't
Let them
stop
go,
us.
let the enemy go sit himself down somewhere. We're here and we winning and right. Y'all, come on now. Y'all know we winning. We never fail, okay?
All right, so let's just start. So first of all, I mean, your followers already know your name. They know where you're located.
Let me get
I'm
your
still hearing
headphones,
feedback.
please. Thank you. I think we might be in luck, y'all.
Wait, hello?
Yes, I think we might be in luck. My daughter came back. I couldn't find her just now, but I think she came back. I think we might be in luck, y'all. It's like the first version of headphones when they just came out, y'all. But we gonna make it work.
All right, so let me put you back on live then.
Yes, I'm gonna. Girls, I've been having technical difficulties. So I just want to get going, guys. Please. Please, what, Nikki? She wants to watch herself. Here, take your computer and please go. Thank you so much. You got Tiana does not have iPad time. She lost it. So not because I'm going on live, I don't give it away. Okay. All right. So I have some headphones now. How does it sound? Can you hear me?
Hold on, let me add you back to the live to see.
Okay. I can hear you here just fine. And
Yeah.
everyone, can you hear? How do I say my
Miosha.
Miosha, Jesus,
Yeah.
Lord, girl,
Now you
go
good,
ahead.
girl.
All right, guys, I can hear just fine in my headset. So the noise coming out, I'm hoping that it doesn't give a feedback and it doesn't affect you because that's what I was trying to prevent, that echoing feedback stuff. I didn't want that. Okay, that's not it. Who's from California? Listen, what is it like? What's the weather like there right now? Because it's nice and cold here in New York. Are you able to send back the
Yep, I'm doing it right now.
okay. Guys, while we're here, are you able to hear both of us just fine? Are you able to hear both of us just fine, guys? It's sunny. Whoo! It's nice and cold over here. It's nice and cold this side of town.
Okay, how
Okay.
is the sound? Can you hear feedback still?
Yes, I can hear y'all good. How about feedback? Are you guys still hearing any feedback?
All
Sounds
right.
great. Oh, it looks like see. Thank y'all for hanging in there. Thank you guys so much. Five. Oh, really? It's 5 o'clock. Oh, child. You see what time it is here in New York? Wow.
I think we're good now.
Think we're good now. Well, thank you guys so much for being patient with us. We had some small technical difficulties, but as you know, we are here, we are live, we are rolling, and we are ready to go. Let's get this show on the road, guys. We are ready. We are ready. Let's get going. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Nessa. I'm your girl, Nessa, and my channel is Healing Your Silence. And the main purpose of this channel is because too long we have been suffering in silence. So we will no longer be suffering in silence. Instead, we're going to heal that silence. So I thank you guys so much for joining us tonight and for hanging out with us tonight. We have Myosha, and she has a
Miosha.
YouTube. Miosha, listen, sorry. Thanks for the correction. I appreciate. Listen,
Now you're
Miosha,
good.
thanks.
You're good.
I appreciate you. And she also is on Instagram, guys. You could check her out at Good for the Culture. And it's part of the flyer that's in the community tab right here on Healing Your Silence. So thank you guys so much for being patient with us. And listen, it's perfect timing. Nothing happens before it's time. And we are doing just fine. Let's get this show on the road. And guys, just so you know, so there's a little spin on tonight. So instead of me being a host tonight, y'all, I get to sit back. I get to sit back, y'all, and I'm being asked questions tonight. So enjoy and don't be afraid, guys, to ask questions. Put questions in the comment section and go ahead, share, ask questions, ask away, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Without further ado, good for the culture.
Thank you so much again, Nessa, for your time. I appreciate what you're doing. I think it's really important. A lot of people, we don't really talk about relationships and how they can be really toxic and really break people down. So what you're doing, just being transparent, letting people know your story and how you overcame it, I commend you for that. So let's see. The first question that I have is, when did you start Heal Your Silence and what inspired you to do so?
Okay. Nice, good question. So, Healing Your Silence started back in 2018. That's really when it started. And the reason I said it started back in 2018 was because that's how long I was trying to get out of this thing. Since 2018, it was March 31st into April 1st. So, it was like a late night thing. So, it was an argument that started in the morning and it had no end to it. And it went on for way too long. And when he left the house, I was just pretty much like, I can't. I can't
So give a
continue
little
like this.
background. Give a little back. We're talking about your ex-husband, right?
Yes. So he
Okay.
had so he was talking to a female friend on the phone, but he had the phone on speaker because he wanted me to obviously to hear to see like there's nothing going on, right? And the person is
So
international,
people
so
are
it's
saying
not
that
like
there's an echo. I'm sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
okay,
You know what? I think we should just do your YouTube page and then we can do IG another time because there's an echo on our
perfect.
end.
No
Okay,
problem.
so
So we could that's fine. That's fine. I'll just end this. No problem. Right. So
okay.
just to continue, guys, so we'll just keep it right here, right? Um so he was speaking to the female person on the phone and she was just saying some things that was crazy that didn't make sense. It wasn't anything that made sense. You're getting your hair done, what does this have to do with him? Like things that she was speaking about had nothing to do with him, and I didn't see how he was making any sense in that conversation. So I said something about it. He started cussing at me, letting me know that he's allowed to have female friends. And that's really when I started to say, you know what? I got to get out of this thing. Like really, 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 I got to get out of this thing. Because the only
Mhm.
thing I kept seeing was coffin or prison cell. Like that, those are the only things that kept playing replay in my thoughts and everything was either one of us going to be in a body bag or the other one is going to be behind bars. That's the only
Gotcha.
thing I saw. We were married for pretty much 13 years. We were married for 13 years. So being in this nonsense for 13 years, that's a really long time to stay around in something. But it's not that I wanted to stay. It wasn't wanting to stay at all. It was more I wanted to be there for my family and I didn't want to break my family apart. That's really what took place is that I really wanted to keep my family together. But
Which
in
is
reality, who wouldn't want to? Why would I want to
right.
break my family apart? So that's really why I was there for so long. I wanted to keep my family together. So it started then.
Okay.
Um, but the journey is no joke.
And when did you
But you can
start?
go ahead.
And when did you start like your actual your page and like just being transparent with other people and healing your silence? Because yes, the relationship, it got tumultuous around 2018, but you really started to do self work and work for the community around when?
Okay. So what I did was I started the YouTube channel um
Take these off,
just
actually.
October. Just October. I just started the YouTube channel in October because I decided to share information on how to go ahead and heal your silence. Um I've been doing the work because the work is where I think we break down. We don't really realize the magnitude of the work behind it. And oftentimes, when we see people who have gone through stuff and they're standing bold, we tend to ask the question, but not really ask the question like, how did you do it? Like, you look pretty confident and you're standing tall, but the reality is the work behind it. That's what makes you come out of this thing strong, because
Gotcha.
the shadow work really is what's important. And what started to help me was that I had to take responsibility for the things that I did in a relationship, and I had to look within and go deeper. And the more you go deeper, you start to take the blame for the things that you did and the role that you play, and you stop shifting responsibility onto the next person. That's when it really gets real, because
Mm-hmm.
you can't ignore the fact that you were with someone. So how could you be taking on so much of the responsibility, and it's almost like you're not holding them accountable for what they did? In reality, you are holding them accountable, but in order to heal, you got to release them.
Got you. Got you. Um, so what is your goal? What are 4 goals that you have for Heal Your Silence? Is it more so about, you continuing to work on yourself, or is it really identifying other people that have gone through the same thing and helping them work through, this time?
So my slogan is empowering you to become your greatest self. So that's my slogan behind Healing Your Silence, is empowering you to become your greatest self.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm doing is creating an avenue. One of the things I'm doing is creating an avenue for people to feel comfortable, like we have in the chat here. As you can see, there's a lot of questions, comments, and we're comfortable and safe in this chat where we talk about things. So creating that space where people could come and talk about stuff, and also know that if they need to talk with a coach who's been through this, who have experience, not only book smart or qualifications or having degrees, but someone who physically went through this experience, who have experience and have done the work, have gone through the process, and is now able to say, I've done it, I've walked through everything that you're experiencing. These are some of the things that I did and it worked for me, or these are some of the steps that you can take in order to heal. And not only that, had I been in a position to get the help and the guidance from someone else, maybe a parent or a friend, then I would have been able to make healthier choices. But I didn't have that kind of big sister or that supportive guide or that help. So a lot of the choices was just me figuring out life on my own, and
Mm-hmm.
stumble upon things that was nowhere in shape for a human. Like, I wasn't designed to deal with these things, but I dealt with it, right? Let me see. You would only let me see. You would only take 50%. I'll just put the comment up here. You would only take 50% blame of, right. But you know what it is, sexy slim goddess? It's not that I'm taking all the blame for everything. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not taking all the blame for everything, but we gotta, what I really wanted to say is that some of our attachment styles stems back to childhood, because our caregivers are normally the ones who instill certain values in us and teach us how to handle situations, how to deal with our emotions and our survival skills. So it really goes back to our childhood caregivers, whether it be a mom, a dad, or mom, or dad, somebody who's missing, absent, or whatever. These things stem from our early developing stages, that we've learned these attachment styles. So going into a relationship and being with a narcissist is just a larger exposure of what is already instilled in you. But if you don't take away the narcissist or the toxic relationship out of the situation, then you won't be able to heal fully. Instead, you'll shift most of the blames to the other person. But accountability goes a long way, because take ownership for you. See where you went wrong, and whatever you need to work on is going to help you and to see you out of it. Yes, someone hurt you. Yes, someone violated you. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's all true. That's all valid. But is that going to heal you? Is that going to help you to get to the source of your traumas? And that's what we need to spend our focus on, is to get to the source. So that's why, I would share that, just to kind of comment on that. But keep going.
Yeah, just tell me some more goals that you have for Heal Your Silence. Like how do you go about setting up these sessions with people and assisting them with getting over their toxic relationships?
So the platform here is one. So we come on here and we talk about it. Book one-on-one sessions, that's
Yeah, what do
something
those look
we
like?
do as
What do
well,
your one-on-one
right?
sessions look like?
The one-on-one sessions really look like us talking about some of the things that you've experienced, ripping off the band-aid, going deeper into childhood wounds, traumas and things, your upbringing. That's part of what our sessions look like. We'll talk about stuff. I'll give assignments. If after we do the first session, I want to know what their goal is. What is their intentions? What is their ultimate goal? Where they're looking to see themselves, and what is their expectation of me? What are they looking to accomplish from me? What do they want me to deliver to them so that they can reach their goal? Like, I really don't want to be a crutch, but instead be an avenue to help them to empower themselves, to restore and rebuild their confidence, because somewhere along the line, self-esteem was destroyed, self-identity, confidence, and a lot of things were broken. So how do we restore them, rebuild them, and get you back on track so you could be empowered now to becoming your greatest self? Workshops, that's something that I definitely want to get going in 2023, is to have more group setting, smaller group setting with workshops. So this where we're doing workshops and we're interacting with people so we can role play. And I think it's important too to have others role playing some of the things that we've experienced so we could learn healthy communication style, right? Being more effective in our communication and learning self-value, self-worth, and to understand how to respect ourselves, set healthy boundaries. So these are some of the things to look forward to in the workshop coming ahead for Healing Your Silence. And it's not just people with toxic relationship. It's really, Healing Your Silence is for everyone. If you really think about it, Healing Your Silence is for everyone, because we're all going through something. We're all experiencing something, whatever it is. And oftentimes we stay quiet about it and we suffer in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
how do we not suffer in silence anymore? So that's why Healing Your Silence is for everyone across the board. It's
Gotcha.
children, their voices are not heard. They're told to sit down, be quiet. No one is talking to you. Go chill over there or something, right? But that's not so. They're important. We need to hear from them too. So those are some of the things that I'm looking to do, and also to do more pop-up events, go out in the community and have more panel discussion to create more avenues and advocate for people, because the more we bring awareness to narcissistic abuse and to toxic relationship, is the more we can help other people to become much stronger and to help them get through these experiences, so they be able to recognize and see the red flags when they're waving right in front of their faces. So these are some of the things that I'm looking to accomplish in 2023 for Healing Your Silence.
So, do you know any stats like on the amount of people that are in narcissistic relationships? I know people throw around that word toxic a lot. Like, oh, I'm in a toxic relationship. That it seems like it's becoming more common and even a cool thing. Like I hear people saying like, oh, I'm toxic, and thinking like, like that's a cool thing. Do you see a lot of that in your work? And do you have like any stats on the amount of people that are in narcissistic relationships?
So you might not agree with me with this one, but we all have narcissistic traits, all of us. So if that's the case, then we're all narcissists, right? But that's not the case, right? We all have traits of narcissism. It's just, it's an extreme. With narcissists, it's certain behaviors that you're looking for, certain traits that you're looking for that would separate a narcissist from a toxic person or someone who does not know healthy boundaries or does not know effective communication or doesn't understand respect. There's different things to it, there's different levels to it. Because if you're in a relationship and you're communicating your needs and your feelings, and the other person is open to meeting you with your needs, right? And being receptive, that's not a narcissistic person. That's not someone who's narcissist. But a narcissistic person, they do not validate your feelings. They shift the blame. You're the one who's at fault. You're always at fault for everything. They're very short. They're very dismissive. They dismiss your feelings as if you're not important. And if you want to talk to them about something, oh my God, here we go again,
Mm-hmm.
already setting the tone for you not to speak. So
Mm-hmm.
they mute you, they put you in a place to feel like you're mute, or you're now starting to walk around on eggshells. And the moment you threaten to leave them is when they all of a sudden remember that the first day you met, you said you like XYZ. See how
They
that
love
goes?
bomb. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, no, that part of it is not the love bomb. That part of it is the manipulation. That's
Mm-hmm.
emotional manipulation, right? Because what they're doing now is creating trauma bonds with you. What they're doing at this point is saying, okay, I've already traumatized you and I've put you through this,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm a bond with you with something that I know you want. So if you've always asked them to change their behaviors, if you've always asked them to not do certain things, you'll notice there's a drastic change. They'll do it for 2 weeks and you'll be hopeful because now they're doing it and you're like, okay, you get it. So now you understood what I was talking about, right? And you're actually doing it. They'll do it for about 2 weeks. And then after that 2 weeks, they're right back to their old ways and their old behaviors because that's how they create that narcissistic wound. That's how they create that narcissistic bond. I'm saying that bond, that toxic trauma bond. That's how they create the bond. And now, by the time you find out you can't leave this person and you're wondering why, because y'all soul has been tied, y'all been connected, that trauma, that addiction is back and forth, that push pull. Now you're addicted to this person and you're staying with them longer and you wonder why you can't leave because every time you threaten to leave, this is what they do. So now I want to do different. What I'm doing different now is teaching ladies and men how to respect themselves, how to have self value and self worth, where you're not walking into these relationships to look for these things. You've already set your standards from the jump, from the get go. Your standards are here. So if someone is not meeting your standards, and it's already toxic out the gate, walk away. Save yourself the headache because it's not going to pay off later on. You'll just find yourself in another narcissistic relationship. So we all have different traits, we all have different parts of it, but it's to see the difference if you're manipulating someone or is it that you just need to learn from something.
Okay. So what are some coping mechanisms, or better yet, what are some ways to identify that you are in a narcissistic relationship?
Your needs are not being met. Your voice is not heard.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
are constantly on highs and lows. There's no stability.
Mm-hmm.
There's no stable grounds in anything. 1 minute it's hot, the next minute it's cold. 1 minute you're on a nice high, the next minute you're on a low, low, low. So there's no balance in between it. There's not a balance in between it. You're constantly on a roller coaster or on a hamster wheel going around. And
Okay.
oftentimes a nice way to assess this or to ask yourself this question is, are you accomplishing your goals with this person? Are you being successful? Are you guys growing? Because if a relationship is not growing, it's dying. If things are not growing, they're dying. So if there's no growth to it, it's dying. So is your relationship growing or is it dying? Are you able to freely be yourself or you suffocated? Are you controlled? Are you not allowed to be free in your relationship and be happy? Or is your happiness solely dependent on your partner? Is your partner the one who makes you happy, or you're happy without your partner or with your partner? Either way, you're happy. Your happiness does not solely depend on that person. So these are
Mm-hmm.
some of the things when you start asking yourself these questions, are you compromising these things? Because these are necessary things to survive on a daily basis. Your happiness, your peace. Are you being isolated from family members, from friends?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to isolate you in order to control you, to manipulate you. So when they hurt you, you have no one to turn to and you have to turn right back to them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
small things, but these are important things to look out for because they happen so subtle that you're not really paying attention to it. So it's small little things that they add up over time.
Okay. And narcissistic relationships can also be, it doesn't have to be romantic, right? It can be like two friends.
Yes. Yes. It could be in a friendship because you could be a friendly relationship with a girlfriend, male friend, whatever, and you're noticing some of these same behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
They'll they're never adding value to you. They're always draining you, they're milking you, they're just taking from you. They'll put on a nice show and give you a nice smile at times, but it's only when it's beneficial for them. So it might be that you're creative in a particular area. They like your creativity. They'll use you for it. Again, they're not adding anything to you, they're taking from you. They're users. And
Mm-hmm.
they only see it as a one-sided relationship. And if you choose to speak up, they threaten the friendship. And that's the same thing as in a romantic relationship, right? They threaten to leave or they start all of a sudden giving you a little bit and then pulling it back. Same thing with family members as well too. They always just there to listen, to see or to gossip about stuff, but to never be productive and to support you, even if they're not the ones that are winning. They're silently jealous of you in some ways. They're not supportive because it's not about them. The spotlight is not on them and they're not
Mm-hmm.
winning. So they can't celebrate your wins with you.
So out of out of all the people that are narcissists, do you think everybody knows that they are being that way, or people just go throughout their whole lives and not really? Because from what I experience, people sometimes don't know the effect that they have on others. They don't know how how it affects people. So do you think that everybody that is a narcissist is doing this intentionally, like for control, or could it just be, that's just who they are, that's just how they were raised?
Okay. So I like how you said that because there's several different answers to that one question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure we're like on edge wanting to know what's the answer to this question. The reality is we know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We are all responsible for our actions. We know what we're doing. It's just the same as getting up, going to the bathroom. You know what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the moment we start to simplify things, we know that we know what we're doing. The narcissist is no different. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to do it and they know exactly why they're doing it. Because if you think about the experience that you have in a relationship with them, they remember things that happened day one. Okay. They remember these things that happened day one. They remember the things that you like and you don't like. Why is it that when you threaten to leave or you guys have a disagreement or something, that's the time now they want to fix what you had asked them to fix then?
Mm-hmm.
So you intentionally didn't do it. You're doing it on purpose. You're choosing not to do it the entire time because you're using it as leverage until there's a need for it. So it's almost as if someone is storing up things for when they need it, like squirrels, right? They'll take the nuts and they'll secure them for the season when they need it. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that they're not out eating nuts every day, but they're
Right.
securing ones for when they really need it. The same things with the narcissist, that's what they're doing. They know because you can't do the things that they're doing to you, you can't do it to them. They'll call you out on it.
Mm-hmm.
but you can't do it to them. So is it that they're not aware of what they're doing? Like, are we really making excuses for them that they really don't have any clue what they're doing? No, they know exactly what they're doing. It's working. Why would they change and it's working? Why would they fix anything and it's working? It's working for them. It's gotten them through life thus far. And all they have to do is just keep recycling and changing supplies. If you're catching on to them and you're coming too close and you're becoming more aware, okay, next supply. They're always searching for new supply. They always have a list of supply lined up that's going to be next. So you're never in a healthy relationship with a narcissistic person. It's constant chaos because that's how they get their high. That's how they get their satisfaction. That's how they get validated because they're looking at you that you don't know what they're doing. So they feel empowered. They feel like they're controlling you because one, you don't know what is it that they're doing. So they feel like they're steps ahead of you. That's hurting someone. You're intentionally hurting someone.
So how long did it take you to realize that you were in a narcissistic relationship?
It wasn't until 2020,
Okay.
August of
And so how
2020.
long?
Even though 2018, that's when I started to exit. That's when I started this getting out. But 2020 was really when I realized that this was real. This is a real thing.
So how
Because
long had it been? Like, when did you guys get together?
we were together since 2009.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we were
So,
together since 2009. We were married for about what, 12, 13 years. Yeah.
okay.
But
Okay.
2020 was really when I had to exit out properly. Like, and then I stumble on videos because I searched in my search box because all I wanted to find out was how to divorce, how to divorce a person. But then that's not what came up in the search. It says how to divorce a narcissist. And I was just like, a narcissist? What? That was my first time seeing the word. And I
Right.
was like, what? What is that? So I got curious and I clicked on it. And when they're speaking and the things that they're saying about this person, I started to say, wait, no.
That
I
sounds
was in
familiar.
denial. I was
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
denial. I'm like, no. How
Mhm.
did you know? What? And I started to think about his behaviors, his patterns, and I started to put them together. Now I want to watch more videos. Like, I became addicted to watching these videos because I wanted to learn more. I wanted to go deeper because, wait, you guys are describing him, but I was still in denial that he was a narcissist. Like, I was
So
just
once
trying to
you
think like maybe he had some behavior issues or some things, but it just wasn't making sense. Like, really? Like, no. But the
so once you
more the
discovered
information came out, go ahead.
mhm. Once you discovered what a narcissist was and you were able to identify that in your husband, is that a conversation, or your ex-husband, is that a conversation that you tried to have with him? And if so, how did it go? I'm imagining if you did that it didn't go well because narcissists, they're not going to admit to it. Or like I said, they might not even know that they are a narcissist. Like, just the title in and of itself. You might know what you're up to, but that title, you know what I'm
The
saying? Like,
title.
did you guys have that conversation?
I could agree with you about the title.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with you with it having a label because in our culture, because I'm Jamaican, right? And maybe other cultures can relate to this as well too. But I know in our culture, when a man, hey Tawala, good night, sweetheart. Hi Melissa, good night, good night. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Good night, my love. I don't know if you guys can relate to this as well too, right? But in our culture, when these men, they'll have multiple women, and there are things like monogamous, like I'm a boss, monogamous, man, a real boss, like whatever, like they the bomb, having multiple girls. Oh, they hide in to talk to this one, and they have that one around the corner, and everybody know about that one. That's not a healthy relationship.
Right.
That's not a. But we are programmed to think that it's cool, so we kind of normalize it in society, and that's why when we accept these relationships now, we go into them because it's like, are you seeing somebody else? No, I'm not seeing nobody. So you take them at their word. But
Mm-hmm.
narcissists, they're never at their word. They don't know how to be honest. The most thing they'll do to you in the beginning is tell you the truth, and it's just really telling you what they see about you, because they have an eye. Y'all think narcissists don't have intelligence? Let me tell you, y'all wrong. Y'all so wrong. Narcissists are so intelligent. They are very intelligent, guys. Stop downplaying them. Stop trying to listen. They're very strategic. They're very intentional in what they do. They look for they know how to pick their supplies. They know how to pick quality people who lack boundaries and who have some substance, or known as a grade A supply. So you might think that they don't know what they're doing. I'm telling you, they know what they're doing. A narcissist will cheat with you for a meal, for dinner tomorrow. If you're not going to cook dinner tomorrow and they know that in advance, they'll go cheat with someone just so they have dinner for tomorrow. Simple. That's how simple they are. They're very simple, but they're very intentional, because everything they do is for their benefit. They don't care about other people's feelings or anything of that sort. So for me, I never used the word to him, because I really was one of those people who thought he was stupid too. Yeah, I really did. So I thought it was redundant to share the word with him, because I thought I was just wasting my time. So I never did told him the word or what it is, because I thought that he would look at me like, what is that? And
You
then I'll
want to
have to go
be,
into more details. No. But what I
yeah.
did was, during that time of leaving and going back and forth, because you go through that time where they'll hoover, they'll hoover you. And for some reason, they start apologizing for the things that they did wrong in the relationship, right? They somehow come to this awakening and awareness, right? They start apologizing for the things that they did wrong, and they're saying it was their fault. They treated you wrong. And they're apologizing at this time to you, okay? But you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay. You're going to pay for them having to be nice to you. You just inflicted a wound, a narcissistic wound. So you're going to pay for this. They're going to punish you for what you just did, having them be nice to you and apologize to you. Are you serious? Because they don't do stuff like that. But in order to get you reeled back in order to make you feel like they've changed and something different is going on, they'll do it, because it's temporary. Like I said, everything with them is temporary. So they'll tell you, I've learned my mistake. I've learned, I'm sorry. I messed up in the relationship. And, that girl was coming on to me. That guy was coming on to me. Whatever it is, they're going to sincerely, or what seems to be a sincere apology, they're going to do it. So you're ready now to give them another chance. That
So
happened to me.
is there a big difference between a narcissist and just like an abusive person? Like physically abusive, emotionally abusive, mentally abusive?
You have sociopath. And that's why I said there's levels to this thing. You understand? There's levels, because you have psychopath, sociopath. They all tie into stuff. And even narcissists, you have different level of narcissism as well too. Because
Okay.
the most violent narcissist is considered the malignant narcissist. That's the most violent one. That's the one that will watch you in pain and watch you suffer, and they get a kick out of it. They get so much pleasure out of it. So when you're asking if they know what they're doing, they'll hurt you and bring you to the hospital after they hurt you, and sit there with you in the hospital and let you know that they're doing you a favor by being here with you.
Okay. So
It
yes, they
sounds
can be
sick.
abusive.
It's very sick, twisted. And if you look at the comment, we've all been through. Listen, look at the comments. You would listen. You look at those comments, okay? Because there's a community of people who've had these kind of experience. So sometimes when we share to other people out in other communities, they don't really understand it. But I remember, after I've learned about it and I got hoovered and I took him back, when I was with him, I intentionally did my observation, because things that I was learning, I wanted to apply them now. So you could say that I was, exercising what I've learned to see if he's really what they say that he is. I wanted to see for myself. So I took the opportunity to exercise the things that I've learned. And I remember standing in the kitchen with him one day, and he was just looking at me with a nasty disgust, but he didn't know I could see him. Like the way how
Mm,
I was able to see him at the corner of my eye. And I
mhm.
was watching, his face was like rage and nasty and disgust. But I promise you, had I turned around, it would have been a smile or something different. They're sick. They know what
This
they're
that sounds
doing.
like a psychopath.
I'm
Like,
telling you, they are sick. Because I saw him, and I remember he sat outside in the swing in the yard because we had a nice swing, and he sat outside. But he there was an argument for no reason,
mhm,
and I said, I kept thinking, it kept playing replay in my head. I'm like, why am I always the first one to make peace? I said, why? I don't want to constantly be the one to go and make peace. Like, if there's an argument between both of us, like, you can never come to make peace. Like, you don't want peace too.
mhm,
And at
mhm.
that time, I said, you know what? Instead of me asking him the question, like, what's wrong? I went to him and I flipped the question. I said to him, I said, hey, I got a question for you. I said, when there's an argument between both of us, who's the first to apologize? He said, you. It might sound simple to you, okay? But when you know what you're investigating and someone is falling right into it
He's
and
validating
confirming
everything.
everything, he's
Mhm,
validated everything that I learned.
mhm,
So now
mhm.
you're clearly telling me that you've recognized that I come first to apologize. So you're fully aware of what you're doing. You know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Oh, that
Mm-hmm.
definitely sounds like a manipulator for sure.
Exactly. And that's
Mhm,
why I wanted to test it. I wanted to test everything. And
mhm,
I got all my answers. He didn't need to apologize to me. I didn't need an apology. I didn't need anything from him. I just couldn't understand why I kept going back to this man, knowing that I'm not happy, knowing that this is unhealthy for me, knowing that this is abusive. Why do I keep dropping the court cases, the order of protections? Why do I keep saying it's okay, throw out the cases? There's so many police activities at the house, but I'm still telling them, no, I don't want him to get in trouble. Why was this happening? So I
right,
had to
right.
come to terms to now exercise the things that I've learned to make sure that when I put my foot down, I knew exactly that this was it. And I knew I got my answers. And I knew for sure this is not someone who's capable of changing. Everything that they said about him, he validated everything. So that's
Mhm,
how I was able to recognize that, yes, I did have an addiction. I was not addicted to love. I was actually addicted to the feeling of intimacy whenever I did get it.
mhm,
That's all
mhm.
I was addicted to, that emptiness,
I would
that
also
void.
say I will also say, like you said earlier, about just wanting to keep your family together and be willing to do, anything for that. I can't ever say that I've been in a situation as traumatic as yours. But we've all been in situations where you're staying with, well, if you have kids at least, where you're staying with somebody that you know is not necessarily the best for you, but you want to keep your family together. So I totally understand on that level. And I'm just happy that you got out of it okay. I'm happy that you got out of it okay. You said that you did a lot of shadow work after you were out of that situation. What does that look like? What exactly is shadow work, and how can people
So
do
let me
that?
just, all right. So let me acknowledge Mags here. Mag says, wow, I remember being shocked about the similarities in all of our stories when I first learned about narcissism, because you know what? It's the same way how you see I'm up here sharing now. It's the same thing. Someone else was on this seat, not this particular one, you know what I mean? But someone was up here sharing as well too. And when we share our stories and we open up like this, it's helping someone else. So thanks, Megs. We've all realized that it's okay to heal. It's okay to talk about stuff. It's okay to share your experience because you are helping someone else, right? So, what the shadow work looked like for me, and the first thing I'm gonna say is, you can't heal in the same place that you were hurt. So you can't expect that this person that hurt you should be around you while you're healing. You
Hmm.
guys can't be in the same place.
That makes sense.
You will never get the right level of freedom. You will never get the right level of peace. You will never get the right alone time away from the person that hurt you. Because every time when you're trying to heal with this person that hurt you or being in that environment that hurt you, you'll be pulled back in and you'll never get to your healing. You'll never get to the source of things. So he was removed from the house for
Mm.
different safety reasons. He was removed from the house. So while he wasn't there, I started to find me again. So I started going back to the gym. I started working out, getting my exercise going in, working out. I changed my eating habits. I actually wanted to be a police officer. That's in another live, right? But I was training to be a police officer, did the exam, and I
Mm-hmm.
was going in and changing a lot of things. And I stopped eating meat. So that was something that was important to me because I wanted to become disciplined about something.
Mm.
So I decided that let me try meat. Let me just cut meat off my plate. So how I started really was like if I had 10 dumplings, I'm just giving it an example, or 10 spoons of rice or whatever, and 3 pieces of meat, if that's what my normal plate would look like, I kept it the same without the meat. So it was
Okay.
the same large portion or whatever. If it was large, it was the same portion, just without the meat. This way, I'm satisfied. So it's not just sprinkles on the plate because when you're starting something, you can't go in it so hard. You can't go in it so drastic. You have to take your time. So this way, it becomes consistent and you can endure it for a longer time. So I
So
started
you
doing
started
that,
out
working out,
by. Mm-hmm.
and I became disciplined about not eating meat, and I lost a lot of weight. I lost about 60 pounds. Like it went. And then when that started to happen, my confidence started to come back and I started to feel myself. I started to feel good about myself. And it just starts to build, like your confidence starts to build up. You starting to see yourself different from how you were looking before. I was so absent. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
showing up for my kids the way I'm supposed to. I wasn't showing up for myself the way I was supposed to. So I had to learn how to love myself again. I had to learn how to go through this. And I had to really find out why. Why was I doing this? Why I didn't want to leave this thing? Why? How
Mm-hmm.
did this start? Then it took me right back to my childhood. And I remember, oh, my mom. Because I'm like, well, how did I become a caregiver? Because that's the thing that you start to learn things about yourself. You start to recognize that you're a people pleaser, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
why would you stay with someone who's hurting you if you're not trying to please them? People pleasing. So you're dismissing your needs and you're satisfying someone else's needs, right? So you're a people pleaser and your needs don't matter. Your needs are not valid. But I wanted to understand, how did I become so codependent on this person?
Mm-hmm.
Then I started to learn I'm a codependent. I was a codependent person. That
Mm-hmm.
means I was looking for them for validation. But guess what? It started way before them. And that's why I said this earlier, that this started before the narcissist. Sometimes we have parents that are so hard on us that they don't allow us to be ourselves, and they set the bar so high, the standards so high, and we don't have room to mess up. So it's that you're pleasing them, you're doing things to make sure that they think they believe in you. Like you need them to validate stuff for you. So now you grow up with that codependency because now you're dependent on someone else to validate you, to make you feel important. You're not doing it because you believe in yourself. You're doing it because it makes someone else happy.
Okay. So for if the shoes were flipped, if a woman was being the narcissistic party in a relationship, what because you said that you gained a lot of weight when you were in your relationship. Um, are there certain like tall tale signs that a woman is the narcissist in the relationship? I feel like with a man, like he would do certain things to make you lose self confidence and not love yourself anymore, so that it's easier take advantage of you. With women, do you think they go about it the same way?
Yes, it's worse with the woman. It's worse. That I mean, the Jezebel spirit is in the woman and the man. So it's not. It's a spirit. It be in anybody. That Jezebel spirit, but it's more trifling with women. It's very that Jezebel spirit is way more trifling with women, and woman. What they really do is men do it too, because men go and they work out and they get that body, like most of them, a lot of them, they use their body, but women too, they use their
Mm-hmm.
body, they really use sex as a weapon. That's really what it is. It's That's what they use to weaponize and to control you, because they throw their body around, and it's like they withhold sex from you as a punishment. Men do it too, because what the
Mm-hmm.
narcissist will do, they'll give you good emotionless sex and you think you're all into it. They're not there. They're not present. It's emotionless. But they give it to you and then they withdraw it from you for a period of time. So you'll be with
Okay.
a narcissist and you might just have intimacy or have sex maybe once every 3 months or every 2 months. That's how they punish you when you're in this relationship. It's not something healthy. And the woman, they do the same thing as well too. They're very trifling. They and because women are mostly believable, like it's easier to believe women because they'll speak a lot and they'll express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come with this emotional show and they'll create a scenery and fabricate things that's not true because they're favored. So they use that as a weapon in order to manipulate the situation even more. And they'll get emotional and they'll cry and they'll carry on. When men is going to stand up a little bit stronger than that, men is not going to operate like that. But women use a lot of these things in order to manipulate men and to control them and throw things at them to make them feel guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And one
Mm-hmm.
thing they'll do, remember, men, their ego, their manhood, that's what makes them feel strong. So when women go in, they target their manhood. They target them, and even if they're providing, they flip it and telling them they're not doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good, and they're never good enough. So they'll always make a man question himself, question his value, question his level of providing, question his level of protecting. And what they'll do, they'll tell them, and it's the same men and women. I'm telling you, like, you're cheating. You're cheating. Why are you looking at that girl like that? Why are you looking at her like they'll make the men so insecure because they're insecure.
Got you. Got you.
But
Okay.
it goes both. Like, it's when you get into it, it's deep. It goes in much, much deeper, and it gets crazy. Let me see this comment here from Carol. The narc neighbor who shred my soul and left me spiritually dead for spiritual dead was a man a foot taller than me. Listen, I get what you're saying. I understand, because you asked earlier, is it only in a romantic relationship? No, it's not
Right.
only just in a romantic relationship. It's yeah, this a little bit better right here. It's not only just in a romantic relationship. It's also in your neighbors, like your friends, your co-workers and stuff like that. It's definitely there in these relationships. So yeah, alpha females are
So,
usually narcs. Not all the time, though. I see this comment. Not all the time. Alpha females, some alpha females are actually insecure. Not all of them are narcs. So I would want to disagree with them, with this comment rather, because there's some truth to it, but also they're insecure. So what they do is they hide behind their success. They hide behind the things that they've accomplished, and they're not soft. They don't know how to be soft because they're putting a mask to hide their true pain. So it's not that all of them or most of them are narcs, right? But it's that they're hiding behind their pain, their wound. They're not really dealing with their wounds and stuff properly. So they hide behind success. They hide behind a lot of things and they put on a show because their childhood traumas, they haven't healed their childhood traumas. So that's one of the reasons that they hide behind things like this. So there's some truth to it, but I understand it's like they're insecure. That's a big insecurity right there. That one.
So overall, because this is we're not live streaming on IG, so this is more so your audience. But for when we do mine, it's good for the culture. That's why I started it. It's conversations that are uplifting to our people, stories about people that have overcome adversity, black business owners, and people that just do community work, like selflessly do community work. So if there's anything that you could tell women and men that are in narcissistic relationships, what would it be? How do they start weaning their way out of it? What are some ways that you can identify it, like out the gate? Can you identify it out the gate? And is it possible to change a narcissist? Like if you really want to be with this person, and like you said, you had the family, you guys really wanted to work it out, is it possible that you can get them out of that?
So it's never our place to change anyone, or we want the best for them. But a
Mm-hmm.
narcissist would have to want to change on their own. Oftentimes they don't. So the answer to that, no. They really don't. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um Living with a narcissist is possible. It is very possible to live with a narcissist. However, there are certain things that you will need to know when you're going to now live with a narcissist. One, you need to be comfortable knowing that the narcissist might not come home for days at a time, weeks at a time. They might be at their other partner's house and you would have to deal with that, right? Speak when you're spoken to. You just do not have a voice anymore with a narcissist. So yes, you could live with one, but you
Yes,
will
it's
no
never a
longer
healthy
be.
relationship.
It's not, but that's the reality of it. It's not. That's just the
Mm-hmm.
reality. So can you live with them? Of course you can. Give up all your rights, give up everything, because all they need is a puppet. That's all they need. You are now a puppet. So exactly. But we stay there for a period of time. It could be 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, 6 months, 30. It doesn't matter. 20 years. There's people that we chat with that are sometimes in here for 20 years and they finally like, I can't do this no more. They're out. Because when you don't know what you're dealing with, you think there's hope because you've been in it for so long. So you've become addicted to this thing. It's now become second nature to you. So oh, here he go again, or here she goes again, and you start to normalize it. But in reality, it's not normal, it's not healthy, it's not okay. So socializing more is something that I would say to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Socialize more, go out in the community. So this is something that you could do for the culture, right? Go out in the community, socialize with other people, interact with other people, create bond, create relationship, go to the gym, go to functions, events, and interact with other people. Have a community of people around you. And I'm not saying that your partner should always want to go out with you to interact with other people, but have a life outside of your partner. Have a
Mm-hmm.
life where you have independency outside of your partner. And if they're not allowing you to embrace you as a person, that is a red flag. That's why it's healthy now to create these healthy relationships with yourself. Find things that you like doing: swimming, sewing, cooking, basketball, soccer, whatever you enjoy doing.
Hobbies.
Do the
Mm-hmm.
things that do your hobbies, your interests. Do these things because the reality is it's a part of you. And a healthy partner is going to want to be with someone who has a life outside of them, who is
Mm-hmm.
able to manage outside of them, who is not just dependent on them because they're busy. And you can't expect someone to be responsible for making you happy.
Right. Right. Do
They're
you feel like that's something that narcissists, like that they count on, like their partner needing them for their happiness?
yes.
Okay.
And that's why when the comment earlier said about
I can't see the
the,
comments unless you put it here.
really, oh my god, and there's so
Yeah.
much there's a whole conversation. Oh my god, how come? Ooh, oh my goodness. There was a comment earlier that
Gosh.
said about alpha females, right?
I saw that. Yeah,
That
because you put it.
right, right. So, and the reason why I'm still touching on that is, let me see this part of it here. I do not say all. Yeah, I know, right? But you see this thing here with the alpha females, right? Off, and I was guilty. I was one of them. I was one of them because here what it is. It's really like your strong will. You know, you're very strong as a person, and you have your goals. So you have things that you want to accomplish, but you're not soft. You're not affectionate. You haven't tapped into that feminine part of you. So you put up this macho, tough exterior and you bossy and this boss attitude. So that's what gives off that alpha female. But when you learn who you are, you won't lead with that alpha female, but you can be confident, you can be, ambitious, you could do all of these things, but you have to be soft and ladylike in order to have a balance with the two. And prior to being married, I was that boss because I was a boss in my role before, not just verbally, but I was a bank manager. So I dealt with so many different type of people. So I was that person before. So I know what it's like. And narcissistic men target women like that have these strong exterior because they know that there's a brokenness underneath it. And that's what they really do is they target strong women that put on this show as if they're tough, they're strong, they put on this show. They know they could smell it. They could smell the fear, they could smell the brokenness underneath it. And that's why they target them because oftentimes these are strong women who are providing for themselves. They're doing everything for themselves. The only thing they don't have is a intimate partner. So that's when the narcissist comes in because one, you're doing everything for yourself. So you're really showing that you could provide for yourself. You're doing everything and you're showing this strong quality. They know that all you need is some little love and affection and just to hear the word boo boo, baby, beautiful, all of these little soft things because you're not used to your softness. You haven't tapped into the softer part of you. So when they come with the mask on, pretending to be soft and genuine and just this piece that you think you're missing, that's where you get sucked into the relationship with them because now they're somehow love bombing you and providing you with this love that you ain't never seen before in your life. And they're the one, right? But that's how they get you sucked in. That's how they get you hooked. Because oftentimes you'll start to lower your standards and say things like, well, I'm already providing for myself. He doesn't have to be a this and he doesn't have to be that. And you start to lower your standards because you're fitting to whatever he's presenting
Mhm.
and you're not dating at your level. But guess what? You accept them for who they are and the level that they're at. But then you want them to now come up to your level. It doesn't work that way, but they're constantly there to pull you down, to bring you down to their level because that's who they are. And over time, that gap between the two creates friction. And that's what tears down the relationship and breaks it down a lot. So just saying.
Okay. Let's see. So I guess back to my original question. Out the gate, right? Are there things that you can identify to say, okay, this is a narcissistic person. Like I need to get out of this right away.
Okay. So I'll give you a nice example, right? You meet a guy and you guys are talking. He's in a rush. Like everything is moving so fast. It's like Speedy Gonzalez. Like you guys are so in love, it's so in sync, it's just moving so fast, it's so intense, but it
Mm-hmm.
feels hot. It's like all this hotness and stuff is just like, oh my goodness, this feels like the person for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're so available. That should be a sign. They're so available. So you don't have nothing to do? You're never busy. You don't have a job. Like they always want to be on the phone with you, to do all your activities with you, to constantly just be there on the phone with you constantly. No, that's unhealthy. That's someone wanting to see if you have attachment style, if you have a void, because that's how they start to fill it right away.
So it's
So
like they're
even
testing you.
they're testing you to see if you don't cut something short, if you don't
If
pull
you don't have
back, if you
boundaries.
don't, because guess what? They're looking at you like you're doing this to everyone else. So if they fill this slot in and take up all your time, then they'll start to push the other competitors out the way. And they know they have your attention because there's no one else to compete with, because if they have your every move, then they know what's going on with you. And they always want to know your routine. They want to know what's your routine, what's your schedule. So they always seem so interested in what's going on with you. They
Mhm.
hardly share. They
About
hardly share.
themselves. Mhm.
And a lot of
Mhm.
times they're sitting there just mirroring you. They're just giving you back you.
Mm.
So pay attention to these.
Wow.
It's small things, but they're sitting there, they're observing, they're paying attention to how you smile, how you look at something, whatever emotions, because they want to see how they're going to manipulate you and how they're going to control you.
That just sounds really scary. It sounds like a scary movie, like like a
It
psychopath,
really,
like literally.
it really
So
is. It and
so what's
so a lot of times
interesting.
when you see narcissistic survivors of
Mhm.
narcissistic abuse survivors, they need to be like, I'm not saying special treat them, but respect them.
Mhm.
Respect them for who they are, what they went through, what they've experienced, because
Mhm.
people who've never experienced this can't really understand it. And
Right.
sometimes you might have a friend and your friend keep telling you about a relationship that they're in, and you're saying, "Girl, can't you see this man ain't no good for you?" And you keep telling her like, "Girl, he's cheating on you. You caught him with such and such. You this, and you still chasing behind him. Like, what's wrong with you?" She has deeper issues.
Right.
She has deeper wounds. So you now having this knowledge, you'll look at your friend different because you're starting to see that it's not really that she can't really get away from this guy. She's more broken. She needs a
Mhm.
different kind of help. She has
Mhm.
wounds. She had childhood trauma and childhood wounds that is giving her validation from this person. This person, even though they're abusive, there's a void in her life that she feels validated from this person. She feels somewhat important to being attached to this person. This person gives her some form of satisfaction. Even if it's what they call it breadcrumbing or crumbing or whatever, she'll take it because it's better than nothing. But
I'm
now that
reading this
you're
comment
getting this
right here.
level of, huh?
I'm reading this comment right here. That's crazy.
No, go ahead and read it. And girl, listen, this you're learning a lot tonight from this, like what we do here. Like
I
it's
definitely am. Yeah, that's deep. You couldn't just fall asleep with it. Yeah. I can't even
yeah.
imagine being in a relationship like that. It sounds like so he makes himself out to be really needy when really he's just bidding for control over you.
Yes. Yeah.
Deep,
Yeah.
deep,
It's
deep.
really deep. When you get into it, it's really deep. It's really deep. And that's why we come together as a community here. And it's a healing community. This is where you come. You heal your trauma here. You heal your wound. But there's sometimes where if you need a one-on-one session, like, you know what, Nessa, I'm gonna email you. I need a one-on-one session, or I need this, or so what I do even sometimes, I'll make morning inspiration videos and I'll send out videos in the morning time on my channel. So it's a motivation because when you're dealing with these people, you're suicidal. You're
Mm,
suicidal. You have a lot of suicidal thoughts. You have thoughts of ending your life. Like there's a lot that you're going through that people on the outside do not understand. They don't get it. But then you hear about an event, you'll be like, oh my goodness, I wish if I had known. They feel like no one is there that they can talk to, that they could share this part of them, that whatever they're experiencing, because it just seems like it's not normal and no one seems to get them because they just seem First of all, you start going to someone a couple of times about the same thing. Don't you think they tune you out after a little while? Like they stop listening.
Right.
So you start to shut down too because you have no one to talk to. Exactly. And that's why, like I said, creating this platform is just an avenue as others that's out there as well too, to be able to have places for people to go, to be an advocate, to write books, to share information, to get it out there some way, to get the information out because there's so many people that are hurting. There's so many people going through stuff. Let me see. This
I
comment
agree.
says, mine will get mad if I fell asleep just watching TV and he called and I didn't answer. Simple things. Simple things. Or you got to answer the phone on the first call. Like if you don't answer the phone on the first call, it's like, who are you on the phone with? Simple, like crazy. It's sickening. Who are you on the
So
phone with?
this
And you find yourself explaining everything that you're doing to this person. And they never explain anything to you. Oh, I'm just going on the road. So you listen, all the signs were there. But when you're mentally manipulated for so long, it's a big fog. Nothing makes sense. You're not even thinking for yourself. You're using their brain to operate because they've already conditioned you to think. So they're thinking for you. So you're not even thinking for yourself. So they're
wow.
thinking for you. So when you're getting out of this thing, it's not something easy to come out of. It's something that it feels like it's a big fog. You go through a fog period where you're trying to declutter and
Just
go through that
navigate. Yeah.
fog.
Yep.
And it's, like a snowball, that thing that goes around with the snow. So it's almost like
No
things are
globe.
going
Yeah.
to eventually, the globe. So it starts to settle after a while and it slowly settles, but it takes time. It takes a
Wow.
lot of time. It's not easy what people like us have been through. And that's why I said being a coach now, it's not just to be a confidence coach, but it's just to really help restore your confidence because I know how bad it was destroyed, how devastating things was. It was no joke.
So
And
what
they
are some
want you to
things that you
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
what are some things that you can recommend to help people restore their confidence? Because that's paramount. Even if you haven't been in a narcissistic relationship, just a lot of people struggle with confidence every day
Right.
for whatever reasons. So what are some tips that you can give people to help them build themselves back up?
One of my favorite is trust. It sounds so simple, but trust is, you build trust by keeping your word.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, just by keeping your word. So if you know that you want to wake up at 5 in the morning and you want to go for a jog or you want to meditate or pray, do it. If you say you're going to do something for yourself, do it. Because now you're building a trust relationship with yourself because you said you're going to do something and you follow through with it.
That's
Now,
excellent.
simple. It's small, but it's effective
Mm-hmm.
because you've been used to disappointment for so long that you don't even know how to come through for yourself. You don't even know how to satisfy yourself, to please yourself. Trust. Because you've lost trust being with a toxic person or with a narcissist. You don't know how to trust your instinct. You don't know how to trust your own thoughts because what you're doing is you're asking someone else to validate things. You tend to run to friends or family to ask them, what do you think about this person? So you don't make decisions for yourself. So start with little trust activities,
Mm-hmm.
doing things for yourself and keeping your word. Small,
Mm-hmm.
simple, very effective.
I
So
agree. I agree.
that's one of the things that I love to share about that, small things. Because I know everyone talk about self-love, self-care, and it's so broad these days that they don't tell you about the simple little things that really gets you going. And
Mm-hmm.
it's small little things that you do for yourself. Treat yourself once in a while. Go out, start to pamper yourself. Be the person that you want to be with. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to be with someone who's going to love you and cherish you and buy you roses and do all of these things, guess what? Start treating yourself that way. So you won't be so wowed when they do it. You'll just be thankful and you'll
Mhm.
be appreciative. And it's just gratitude. It's not like, oh, you took my breath away. No, thank you. Because you already do it for yourself. Because that's what the narcissists use. They look to see your reaction that they want that because it
Mhm.
gives them validation that, oh, okay, this is working. Don't give away your power like that to them. You got way more to offer. Way, way, way more. So building your confidence is really believing in yourself again, learning to trust you and believing in yourself all over again. Set goals. And if you have a big goal, break it down into smaller pieces and accomplish each small piece so you feel accomplished. And you climb up the ladder as at your own pace until you feel as comfortable as you need to feel.
Mhm. Mhm. No, that's beautiful advice. That's definitely something I would want to give to my viewers, because a lot of people, like I said, they struggle with confidence and they don't know where to start. And that's something that you could do on your own. You don't need anybody to assist you with it. You just start. Just start keeping your word and loving on yourself. What else? What is something that just if you could leave the people with something, if you could leave the people with one major thing from your confidence coaching, from being in toxic narcissistic relationships, what would it be?
It would be to trust yourself in a way that whatever you experience, it's real, it's important, it's a part of you. Do not be afraid of it. Do not be ashamed of it because shame will consume you. It's okay. An attachment style is to be confident. That's a secure, confident person who's someone who's gone through the experience and is not afraid to speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have it as something that you're ashamed of, what you experience, whatever the trauma might be, that's what other people use as a weapon because they realize that you're insecure about this thing. You're ashamed about this thing. So it becomes their weapon. And that's how they use that as a weapon and control you. But you
Mm-hmm.
have control over that. So don't be ashamed of what you experienced. Don't be ashamed of what you went through. Own it, heal from it, go through the healing process, go through the healing journey and heal from what you experience because now you control the thing and the thing don't control you anymore. Now it's
Beautiful.
not a weapon anymore because now, okay, all right, I can
You've
share it
accepted
now. It's
it.
not, I'm not, you
Right.
accepted it. You're not ashamed about it anymore. So it's no longer a weapon. So now they'll spend their whole time trying to figure what are your triggers, how to get you mad, like how they'll
You don't have.
lose their mind. There's none. There's
Mm-hmm.
none. That's why it's important to go through the healing process, go through the healing journey, take your time with yourself. Don't be in a rush for anything because when you get that to that level of confidence, you're going to be so selective. Like almost everyone is going to seem like a narcissist to you. That's how selective you're going to be because you want to, and you can't be like that either. Just to say,
Right.
you
I
can't
was
be
about
like
to say, I
that.
don't think that's healthy
No.
either.
But I'm just saying though, it will feel like that for a moment because you do go through phases where you start to have your radar and your alerts up and you're examining everyone. Because
Mm-hmm.
remember, you're learning to rebuild trust. You're learning to restore yourself again. So you go through that phase where you put that radar up first and you start to scan everyone. And let me see. But what we really have to look at, there's certain characteristics and certain traits. That's what you pay attention to. Traits, character, behaviors. Pay attention to it. Pay attention to also consistency. How does someone show up without you giving them instructions and direction? How do they show up independent of you?
Mm-hmm. That's deep.
That's
That's
all I
definitely
would leave everyone with tonight.
okay.
That's
Okay. Well,
what I
thank
would
you,
leave everyone
Nessa.
with tonight. Tawala, right? Tawala was like Target, spot on, right? Boop.
No, that was really good. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to get on IG soon, but this has been great. I definitely learned a lot about this community. I appreciate how transparent you guys are. And yeah, we all have something to heal from, and we can all work on building our confidence up more. So thank you for the work that you do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. I really enjoy you being on here. Guys, if you haven't already, go and follow. Listen, please do not
Miosha.
Miosha, because I'm about to say mine, right? Miosha, please go ahead and follow Miosha on YouTube. Her channel is called Good for the Culture. You can find her
Underscore.
right on Instagram. On Instagram, I know I said YouTube because I'm so comfortable here on YouTube. Go ahead and follow her on Instagram, and I really appreciate you coming on, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. It was a pleasure. I definitely appreciate every last one of you so much. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Have a great night, guys. And do not forget to hit the like button on your way out. And of course, your girl have merchandise coming out pretty soon.
Y'all better go ahead and get your pockets ready for that.
Listen, y'all need to get y'all one of these, right? Get you one of these Healing Your Silence hoodie or something, right? Guys, I definitely will have all the information as soon as everything become ready and available. In the meantime, I pray that you'll be protected, covered, and go safe to and forth your destination. Have a beautiful night. I love you all so much. Be blessed. Good night,
Bye.
y'all. I'm happy you liked it, Tuala. I'm happy you liked it. I'm happy you like it. I'm happy you like it. Good night, love. Good night.